Hey everyone, Dave here with Affordable Door and Gates. So I got an interesting one for you today. I got to mention this in business. I see this very often, and I feel like it's something that I got to address because it might be something where you're struggling in your business. You might not be quite understanding why. This could also be basically life advice. And there's something that I'm one of those people that I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I've noticed as I've turned basically 40, I don't really give people benefit of the doubt anymore. Especially when they've kind of are older or seasoned. It's kind of like either they have it or they don't, and they're just feeding you a bunch of crap. So let me explain a little bit. One thing in business that I see with a lot of people, I've had employees, things that have happened over the years, is that people lack, how do I say it? Basically how to problem solve. There's some real core fundamentals in business that people there's these hurdles that they can't get over. And it's really, really simple. I teach my kids this all the time. Everything is right here, right? You watching this right now, more than likely, now granted probably there's maybe 10%, but you guys have fingers just like me. You have hands and arms and legs. Some people don't, but for the majority of us, we do, right? And to be honest, the people that are actually sometimes handicapped or crippled are actually stronger than you or me. They are. And why is that? Because it's all right here. It's all right here. Everything in this world is a mental game. It is. It really is. You sit there and tell yourself, I can't do that. You won't do it. You sit there and say, I'm going to be successful. There's chances that you will be because you're manifesting what you think about. So for instance, I come across people so many times, and I figured this out why I'm successful in businesses, is there's a mindset that basically you have to be a problem solver. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be a yes man and take on everything and say, I can do it when you can't do it. There's that fine line that you have to draw that you say, it's better cut it loose and say, I can't do it. But for the most part, I see so many people struggle with just solving people's problems. That's all you have to do is you have to be a problem solver, solve the customer's problem, right? Because that's all they care. What was I looking at the other day? I think I was looking at maybe like hot water heaters or something like that, or hot water tanks. And I've told myself as I'm looking through this and checking out reviews and whatnot, is like, I am not an expert by this, right? Concrete's another thing. I don't consider myself an expert in concrete, but I'm fascinated by it. And I'd love to talk to somebody that is knowledgeable, that would give me the insight that just takes care of my problem, or I hire them to take care of it, right? So you have to remember that your customers are coming to you, and I do this. It's easy to come along where, it's easy to go along where you don't realize the customer doesn't understand, right? When you do this for a living, it's simple, right? You're like, it's just a photo eye. Sure. It's just a gear kit, right? It's so simple to you, especially when you've done it for a while. It's so numbing. But you don't understand where when that customer calls you, they're looking for your expertise. They're looking to talk to somebody on the phone with kindness and politeness, and somebody that's understanding, right? Because the thing is like, you don't understand where they're at, right? You don't know what kind of problems they're having. You don't know what kind of day they're having. You don't know if their mother just passed away, if their car just broke down. Obviously they're stuck in their garage. That happens all the time, right? They're not having a very good day, right? And so you have to be sympathetic about that kind of stuff. And I feel like that just gets you so much far. I see so many people stop and just almost give up. I had a technician today that ran into a problem, right? It's going to take a little longer. And it's like, you know what? I always think of, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? How do you tie your shoes? One lace at a time, right? You don't tie them both at the same time. I just feel like people need to micro things down a little bit and understand they're probably thinking, the customers in that are thinking the same way you think about stuff. So always put yourself in their shoes. Like if you were to call somebody that you're asking for help, having your transmission worked on or your car or getting carpet installed, I just think it'll get you a lot farther, and don't exhaust yourself into a lot of stuff that you can't do. You know what I mean? But I see it so often that people, it's almost like they panic, right? They panic and they just, oh my gosh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. So what? That's life. You just go with the punches and we'll deal with it, right? So what I'm trying to get at is just remember, customers, I still have a lot of customers that deal with me directly, and I know why they deal with me directly, because they want solutions, right? They don't want to hear, well, I can't do that, or I can't get this, or you'll have to wait 3 days to get your price or whatever, right? They want it. They want it now. And unfortunately, you have to adapt to it. It's just the way it is. Otherwise, you lose them as a customer sometimes. So, and there's a fine line, but I see it across the board in a lot of things where people just listen. Mom always says, right? God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. So shut up and listen. You got 2 ears. That's how I look at it. And listen to what they're saying to you and put yourself in their situation and say, okay, let me see what I can do for you. Even if you don't know. I've seen people panic on the phones a million times. And I'm always telling them, tell them you'll call them back in 15 minutes. You always have an exit plan. If you run into a pickle, just tell them, say, let me call you back in 15 minutes. Let me find out for you. And then you can relax. You can consolidate. You can think about what you're going to tell them, and you can move on. So anyways, I hope that's some helpful advice for you guys out there that maybe struggle. Just remember, everything's right here. It's mindset. It's all mindset. All right, you guys have a good day. Talk to you later.